Hello everyone, it is Jayden and welcome to The Alpha, the show where we talk about the hottest topics in pop culture and sports. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button on the video, and if you enjoy my commentary and myself truly as always, be sure to tap that subscribe button and to hit that notification bell to get notified when all my videos go live. I love you guys so much. Peace, love, and positivity always, y'all. See ya. A big, huge story, and we're going to move on. That came out over the weekend. This weekend was Memorial Day weekend. Two films that did come out was Mission Impossible and Lilo and Stitch. Both films did very fantastic at the box office. I didn't really want to talk about Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible did make a lot of money as well. But I wanted to talk about Lilo and Stitch. I think Mission Impossible made $200 million with a $400 million budget. So they got a real uphill climb to get to if they want to break even or even make a profit from that movie. But this falls into the topic of what I've talked about in the past with the state of the movie industry, about people claiming that the movies are dead and they're not going to be the same like they used to be in the past. This is the reason why I think the movies have hope. This is why I think if you make good quality movies, people are going to go to the movies and see your movies. And I think that people still go to the movies. Because here's what happened. Lilo and Stitch opened to $341.7 million globally. Guys, put that into perspective. Lilo and Stitch, in one weekend, made more money and almost made more money than what Thunderbolts has made so far in their whole theatrical run. Just think about that. Put that into perspective. That's a lot of money. Granted, we're talking about an IP that is historic in the Disney catalog, that is beloved by a lot of people, nostalgic. Disney did say in their pre-projections going into the weekend, before the movie came out, like a good 1 month or 2 months before the movie came out, they did say that Lilo and Stitch was going to make a lot of money. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they exceeded their projections. So shout out to Disney. But there's some other things that we got to talk about as well. Lilo and Stitch had the biggest domestic opening in the history of Memorial Day. I think it said it did better than Avengers Endgame. And another film. I just didn't write it down. But this is the kicker. This is what I've been saying in the past about why I think the movies is not dead and still has hope. Memorial Day weekend had the biggest domestic box office opening ever in the history of Memorial Day. They made altogether, all the movies that were in the movies, from Sinners, Thunderbolts, Lilo and Stitch, Mission Impossible, and others, they made a grand total of $322 plus million. And that is just domestically. There's no telling how much money Memorial Day made worldwide. Guys, I've said it in the past, and I'm going to continue saying it. The movies are not dead. COVID was a big hit to the movie industry. And it introduced streaming services to where people would rather now stay at home and watch movies instead of going to the movie theater. Instead of spending $13 to go see a movie and having to drive 40 minutes away, because I am one of those individuals. My nearest movie theater, I am from a small town. My nearest movie theater to an AMC, I do have a Millstone, but not a lot of people go to Millstone. We go to AMC. My nearest AMC is an hour away. So you're talking about having to take an hour drive that will take up majority of your day. On top of having to pay $13 for a ticket for just yourself. And obviously, if you go to the movies, you're going with your family or loved ones. On top of having to spend $30 for popcorn. For even a large, because I eat a lot. I'm a big boy. I need my large popcorn and a drink when I'm at the movies. So altogether, you're looking at a very expensive trip to get to the movies. So a lot of people look at that, not me, because I love the movies. I'm just saying the average moviegoer sees that and they say to themselves, oh, I would rather save my money, wait till it comes out on streaming, and see the movie. Because we know a film like Lilo and Stitch is going to be out on Disney Plus when its theatrical run is over. But people who always came up with that idea that that's what majority of citizens are saying in the world, I always rebuke that. I said the problem is we're not making high quality movies. We're not making movies that are making people say, man, I have to see that on the big screen. Instead of just waiting at my house to see it when it gets out on a streaming service. I can say this. I have a father that does it. Whenever we bring up to see a film, every time almost, no matter what it is, Captain America Brave New World was one. Even though, he's not the biggest, unless it's like the main heroes like Iron Man's and all them, he's not going to go see it. And given this is a new Captain America with Sam Wilson, he wasn't as interested. But in general, with any type of film that comes out, he said this about Lilo and Stitch as well. I'll wait and see it when it comes out on Disney Plus. This is what people have been saying. And people in the media have been saying that this is going to be the future of movies. And I have rebuked that ever since. Because I am a believer in the movies. The movies has been around for years. Cinema is something that is art. It's breathtaking. There's a difference between watching a film in a movie theater than watching it at the house. I don't care what nobody says. I'll tell you guys, I'm 21 years old. Do you know the amount of people that would kill to go see a film like Iron Man 1 in the movie theater instead of at the house on Disney Plus? Because I was 4 years old when that movie came out, okay? Obviously, I never saw it. And if my mom and dad took me, I wouldn't remember what it's like. Big budget films, VFX films such as Transformers, all of the Transformers movies. You're meaning to tell me you would love to go back and see the very first Transformers movie in the theater rather than keep on seeing it at the house? Whoever tells you that, that's a lie. Top Gun, Terminator, all these big IPs, these movies that have gone down generations and generations that are historic in film. So you're meaning to tell me if we had the opportunity to go back and see these films on the big screen, that you would rather sit at home and watch them instead of going to go see them in the movies? Guys, and this is something that I have to bring up as well. And I was one of those audience members that saw it. Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith, re-released in the movies for their 20th anniversary. And they made a crap ton of money. A lot of money. And I know some outliers that you can think about is, it's Star Wars, big fan base, blah, 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 blah. But guess what? The fact is they made a bunch of money. So it adds to my argument that the people that go around and say that streaming services is going to be the new thing and the movies are going to be, look, maybe in 30 or 40 years, it probably will happen. But guess what? When it happens, I hope I'm old, rusty, and dusty and can't move no more and can't get myself to the movie theater. Let it happen then. But for right now, I want the movies theaters to still thrive. Because it is a big problem right now. And movie theaters they're coming up with these radical ideas, letting people smoke weed in the movie theater. They're even talking about building bowling alleys and mess inside movie theaters. No, that's not what it's about. It's about Hollywood. Everybody from Warner Brothers, Disney, Skydance, every big film company that makes movies, they should prioritize making good movies. And it ain't about just making movies with bigger IPs. Let's just take, for example, a movie like Sinners, an original production that was produced by WB. It wasn't Marvel. It wasn't DC. It wasn't Transformers or any big IP or existing IP. It was something brand new. And they made a lot of money, made history. I think it made the most money ever in its genre. I think it's vampires or horror. What? I don't even know. I didn't watch it. It's not my cup of tea. But a lot of people went out there and watched it. It crossed $300 million on a $90 million budget. Warner Brothers is saying to itself, hallelujah. And then with these statistics, Lilo and Stitch made almost $350 million on its opening weekend. I could probably see a scenario it might crack $800, $900 million. We just saw Minecraft almost make $1 billion. And on top of the news, that Memorial Weekend had its biggest box office ever. And I know films like Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible and all these films were in the box office, but I get it. But still, the argument has been that people are not going to the movies as much as they did in the past. And I've always said that is a lie. I understand that COVID was around and it hit the movie industry bad. I got it. I get it. Good. Still, though, we're past that. I know the economy is worse than what it was. And it's very expensive to go to the movies. I really get it. But there are people out there, if the movie is good enough, they are going to go see it in the movie theaters. They obviously did it for Lilo and Stitch. They did it for Minecraft. They did it for Star Wars Revenge of the Sith re-release. They did it for Sinners. They did it for Mission Impossible. What makes you think they can't do that for future films? Just because we take the flops that Marvel has had, I get it, but guess what? If you make good movies with good characters, and I know I'm speaking specifically for Marvel and DC and the bigger IPs, because Marvel don't have their A-list characters right now, and it's forcing people not to come to the movies. Let's be honest, what was the odds of people showing up to see Thunderbolts with C-list characters? And you lied to people and thinking, like me, thinking that the Winter Soldier was going to have a big part in the movie. He didn't. That was just a decoy to force people to get into the theater and get them to the movie theater. But still, the movies has a future. This is further evidence of that. I'm interested to see what Superman could possibly make. Fantastic Four. More so Superman, because it's fresh. It's not a continuation of anything. But I'm telling you guys, I'm passionate about it. Because I have always said that the movies have a future. And people are still wanting to go to the movie theaters. I want people to stop spreading this lie and thinking that the movies are dead. And that people are not showing up to the movie theater anymore. And that streaming services are going to take over. Bump streaming services. I think they're great for if you want to watch old movies. But the days to where what they did during COVID and allowing these movies to be released on streaming services on top of the movie theaters, that needs to be abolished. And I think it is for the most part. Let's make good movies and get people's butts and seats in the movies and save the movie industry. What do you guys think about what I had to say? Are you shocked that Lilo and Stitch made the numbers it has made? I'm not. Are you shocked about the stat that it had that this weekend was the biggest Memorial Day opening for the domestic box office in the history of the movie industry? I want to know all your comments down below.